Hey guys, this is Nathan from Bagel Pop, and I just want to give you fair warning. We're going to spoil pretty much everything. So yeah, you've been warned.
Hello! We have just watched Parasyte's episode 8 through 10, and we are just really upset with Glasses Girl just dropping the... It was all her fault.
Everything is her fault.
Like, isn't it that,
Which is dumb.
Yeah, isn't it like if you have glasses in an anime or any type of like show, you're supposed to be the smart one, and you could argue, this girl, I mean, kudos for breaking stereotypes, because you are the dumbest character on the show.
Deconstruction.
It's usually the main character who's dumb, and then like the best friend's supposed to be smart. But
Yeah, the
no.
one with the glasses is supposed to be like the voice of reason and be the logical one.
No, this one's
No.
even dumber than the
Yeah,
heroine.
even dumber. Alright, let's rewind it back a little bit. In episode 8, we get introduced to Shimada, who's in cahoots with our beloved Hotspur teacher, Tamaya, who has since changed faces once more. And Shimada is a head parasite, and is basically given the name of Izumi, our main character, our main protagonist, and kind of told by Tamaya, like, hey, go check him out. But we don't really know his motives beyond that, but we do know, he's a parasite and he's eating people. And then and then it just kind of moves to Izumi, and he's kind of back with Murano, his bae thing, and they seem to be going kind of well. But Murano keeps asking, it's like, "Yeah, you changed, besides your cool hairstyle, you changed, man, you changed." And he's like, "I'm the same person, bro." Until they find a dead puppy. Well, puppy gets hit by a car, and then he just dumps it into a trash can.
Well, he stays with it. He stays with it until it dies.
Yeah.
So that's something. But then he just dumps it, which is like weird for him, because besides being kind of just looking cold, it's like that's not even the proper place to put it, man.
Yeah, and he specifically calls it a dog-shaped lump of meat. Like,
Yeah.
that's very of a very Miggy thing to say. So
A very Parasite type of view.
So essentially, we're pretty much learning that he's becoming more and more, cold,
Retarded.
more, less emotional, less
emotional.
Yeah, less and less emotional, and then this makes Murano really distraught, and then I guess they kind of break up or something. I don't know, it's kind of weird. And then Shimada shows up at school, and they kind of confront each other, but Shimada's like, I have no intention of fighting you. I just kind of am interested. That's
Be
about
cool,
it.
bro. Be cool.
Yeah, he's just like...
Didn't he say he doesn't... He said he didn't harm humans for a while, and he subsists mostly on a human diet, so he... spoiler. That's kind of a spoiler, I guess.
What? It's not a spoiler. This is a spoiler cast.
Yeah, it's spoiler. Yeah, but we're preempting. But it's like he's basically a complete liar.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if... I think he says that we don't know if it's a lie, because we don't actually ever see him eat meat. We do see him, later on, he changes his face to kind of be curious about, human sexual attraction and stuff, and he kind of seduces, a chubby girl.
Then
with
eats
the
her
supermodel
face.
and then eats her, yeah, but we don't know if that's, he's eating her just, to get rid of a witness, or eating her, and that's, his, I
took it as he was just lying and is completely untrustworthy.
Which could be it. I thought he was actually lying. I thought he was being truthful, and that he just kind of wants to get information. So it's weird. And
Maybe,
then we cut to Kana, the earmuffs girl, is like, oh, I can sense my soulmate, because apparently once again.
With her
females,
vagina.
females' vaginas just have, spider sense in this anime. It can just, sense the parasites. So, Kana's like, he's right here. And she, turns the corner, but instead of Izumi, it's Shimada. And it was like, oh, I thought you were someone else. And then Shimada picks up on, oh, she can sense.
With her vagina.
Yeah. The vagina senses tingling. And it was like, how did you sense me? And then, takes her by the hand. It was like, I have some questions to ask you. But fortunately for her, Izumi shows up in time, and kind of saves the day.
Miggy Man
saves the day once again. But at the most inopportune time, because right when that happened, Murano turns the corner and sees them all flirting and shit. And then Kana takes advantage of this to make her even more jealous. Like, hey, walk me home, you big, strong, strapping Miggy Man. And he begrudgingly obliges. And then we see, like, he goes home and his dad's just been drinking himself into fits, like, ever since, understandably. He's just been drinking and sitting in the living room and not showering. And he once again, like, the theme of the episode is just like, are you even human anymore? Or, like, you're so cold, you've become so strong, but you've become so cold. Like, are you made of steel? Is basically, probably translates to something more deeper in Japanese.
Yeah, it just sounds like they're just beating us over the head with the same phrase now, though.
Yeah. And then we see Shimada. It kind of ends with Shimada, like, changing his face and then preying on some chubby girl and then eating her face. And then we move on to episode 9, and then we find out that Glasses Girl. Does anybody know what Glasses Girl's name is? I'm just gonna call her Dumb Glasses Girl.
She doesn't deserve a name.
Okay.
Yeah, she does not. She deserves Dumb Bitch.
She who will not be named or be referred to as Dumb Glasses Bitch. Gets a crush. Apparently, Shimada is very good looking, and the girls have a crush on him. And specifically, whatchamacallit, Glasses Girl's like she's like really good at drawing. She like draws like a sketch of him. He's really in love. And then we also learn the dad is interviewed, and we learn that the government is pretty much onto them. Like, the government knows that the parasites exist, but currently they don't want to disclose that information to the public because that would cause mass hysteria and do more harm than good.
Because they still don't have a method to detect them.
Yeah, or really a method to kind of get rid of them. They just know they're there right now, and the dad has to kind of keep shut of it. And then we find out, just by coincidence, that Glasses Girl's brother is also a sketch artist for the cops. Yeah. So it's like...
art runs in the family.
Yeah. And then she sees...
which makes her even more dumb.
Yeah, she's just like stalking Shimada, and then we see like a baseball get hit, and then clunk into the side of his head, and his head caves in, but then it like reforms. And then she sees this, and then she asks her brother about it, and then her brother...
No, she sees it, and then she follows him.
Yeah.
She follows him, and then she goes to her brother.
Yeah, he like morphs his face while she can see him.
Yeah, so she sees him do it twice. And then he goes to her brother and is like, hey, what's that thing you're sketching? You know, it's interesting. And then her brother pretty much gives her the play-by-play of what the fuck is going on, and that these people are extremely dangerous and have been killing people, and that they can change their faces, and that, like, it's a big fucking deal, okay? Like, these people kill people.
Like, keep it on the down low, you know? We don't want panic and stuff. Like, no, not that down low.
Yeah, but, you know, like, hey, your brother works in the government, and he actually knows, like, these things are a threat. How about you tell him, like, they keep on saying, it's like, oh, we need to catch one of these people alive. It's like, hey, you can get the drop on this guy. Like, why not?
Then she somehow thinks, I can do it myself.
No, she doesn't even think that. She thinks she can reason with him.
Yeah, it's the dumbest reasoning. She was just like, it's like, oh no, I've seen him. Well, she doesn't actually see him kill people, but in her extremely naive mind, she's just like, well, he's so cute. I'll just talk him out of being a unapathetic killing machine.
An emotionless killing
machine that can change their face and stalks prey and eats their faces. She instead does the exact opposite. Instead of going to a public place to confront him, goes to the most secluded area of the school, where it's just going to be her and Shimada. And then she's like, oh, I should choose a weapon because maybe I might need to defend myself. And she's literally just going through the art box, and she has like a wrench and like a paint scraper. And then she was like, oh, these are not discreet enough, because that was her reasoning. Is
that what she said?
Yeah, I rewatched it. It's like, oh, these aren't discreet enough. He might kind of like think that I'm gonna be like
Hostile?
offensive. Yeah, hostile toward him. I know what I'll grab. I'll grab the paint thinner. So it's just completely random. And then he confronts him. He was like,
I hope she grabbed the wrench because then she would have actually died.
yeah. It's just like the dumbest reasoning ever. It was just like,
The biggest tragedy that episode was that the fall did not kill her.
I was like, like, I might need to fight for my life because I know these people, know these things have killed before and eat people's flesh. But, you know what? Let's err on the side of discretion. Really? And she basically confronts him and says, like, hey, yeah, I've heard of these alien things, like, killing people. You wouldn't happen to be one of them, right? And then he goes, wait, what the fuck? What do you know? And then she was like, you're not killing anyone, right? And he was like, who have you told? And she's like, I haven't told anyone, but you should just leave here and never come back. Just leave. Just go away. And then he morphs his head to a bunch of knives. And then she's like, oh, I made a horrible mistake. I made a horrible mistake.
She should have killed herself.
Should have died. And for some reason, she is the luckiest motherfucker on the planet because she throws the bottle of paint thinner at him. He slices it. It falls on his head. And apparently, like, whatever's in the paint thinner, we don't know. Maybe, like, it's acid or something. Like,
absolutely fucks them.
Yeah, seems to, like, have a really, like, adverse effect. So apparently the Mickeys the Parasytes have a weakness toward paint thinner or something in the paint thinner. And it makes them go nuts, and it doesn't allow them to reform into human shape, but they still seem able to morph somewhat into, like, their offensive forms. They just can't go back into their human-esque form.
And they attack anything that moves. I think that's why he killed the fly. Just like any motion at that point, they just like attack instinctively.
Yeah, he kind of lost all coherent thought and just became a mindless killing machine. Dumb glasses girl lucks out, jumps out the window, and then apparently, like, a couple of, like, rugby players see what's going on. She jumps off of a 3-story window through a bunch of tree branches through a giant tree. I guess they, like, broke her fall enough for her to land on grass and not die, which theoretically I guess might be possible.
If you're very, like, you gotta be insanely lucky.
Yeah, you have to be pretty lucky to hit enough branches on the way down to slow your fall. But yeah, possibly you could survive that, and apparently she does. And then people, like, start to go investigating, and then just a whole bunch of people fucking get slaughtered.
Oh my god.
Because of her, 17 people died.
Yeah, it really is. Like, all 3 of these episodes is pretty much like the glasses girl got a lot of people killed. Like, just so many dumb decisions in these past 3 episodes. The stupid glasses girl. And
she basically created a mindless killing alien machine and set it loose in the school. Yeah. While she jumped out the window and said, I'm out.
Yeah, well done. Just gets, like, a whole bunch of teachers killed, gets a whole bunch of students killed. This whole entire time, Mickey Man, I'll refer to them as one entity, is just running around the whole entire school. Well, he's walking. And then he just runs around, and then he keeps on, like, just missing him. And then, he stumbles into the hallway where a whole bunch of his classmates are slaughtered, and then he, like, fucking freaks out. He's like, no, my classmates! And then he gets over it, like, almost immediately.
Well, you notice that he has the ability to kind of get over emotional trauma quickly now.
Yeah, but that was probably the most, like, legit emotion that he showed, like, in a while, though. What do you mean, like him freaking out?
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I'm freaking out.
Unless it plays a bigger role later on, showing that, like, he's gonna become more of himself versus the mindless, emotionless Migi man, then yeah, I would say that would play a very important part. But as of right now, that was stupid.
Well, no, I thought it was important because, like, it was one of the few times he showed emotion in these past 3 episodes. So it's just like, oh, there is something left in there. It has to be something pretty drastic to get it out of him, but there is a sense, like, if Miggy saw that, Miggy didn't have any reaction to it, so there is some humanity left in it. And he still does care for Murano. he sees like a hair clip and he thinks it's Murano. And he goes, "Oh no!" And then he like flips ahead, and then you're like, "Oh, thank God, it wasn't you."
Well, sorry, you random dead person.
Yeah,
My bad.
Like, my bad. Oh, but you had me going there, random dead crying head that I flipped over.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about you. He's walking.
That's so bad.
He's like, he's so relieved. He's like, "Oh, thank God."
Like
And then,
it sucks for you, but yeah, sorry.
yeah. And then he finds Murano hiding in the corner with two classmates, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm here to save you guys. Like, we gotta go back the other way." And then they're like, "You came from that way? What if you're not human? And then we'll run." And then they ran.
All the dead people there.
Yeah, and then they ran around the corner, and then you can hear almost a comical. Austin, you said it was like a comical, like ching 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 ching.
And it's like dead. It's just how like the timing. It's usually like they may run around and maybe like later that you see him get killed, but like immediately like turn the corner dead.
Yeah,
Like okay.
just a lot of poor tactical decisions made by characters in this episode, and yeah, it gets sliced up, and then Mickey Man goes all Mickey Man and like grabs Murano and like jumps out of a 3-story window, fine, jumps over like a 10-meter fence, just fine, and then not even that far away from the school, he's just like, "Okay, we're safe." Like he couldn't have been further than like 100 yards away from the school. He just like jumped a fence, and he was just like, "We're safe here."
This tiny chain link fence will completely protect us.
Yeah, and then like he gets through to the cops, and then he's like, "I'll take care of this," and he walks away. He walks to like the roof of a building because he can sense that the dude's going through the building. This whole entire time, the police are there, and they're going in and trying to kill the beast, and they're all like kind of shooting, like they kind of like, "Hey, freeze!" and then they just get sliced in half. Like a bunch of other people pretty much get killed because they don't.
Do you
shoot
notice
fast
later
enough.
on in the autopsy they shot him everywhere except his
the
heart? Like they shot his arms, shot around his collarbones and like the sides of his chest, but they just missed this part. I'm like, really, guys?
Yeah,
But for good reason, for later on setup is cool scene.
well, it's also it's anime. They can't just kill him through policemen shooting him.
I
Also,
know, that's, yeah.
also realistically, if you think about it, I don't know how often like domestic police officers in Japan get into shootouts. Because you think about it, like because
they seem unprepared.
Yeah, because guns are illegal in Japan, so I'm pretty
Also,
sure
they have like a chain connected to their gun. You see that, like connected to their belt?
Yeah, that's how they do it in Japan.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's a
Interesting.
Japanese thing. But yeah, I like. It's one thing to be practicing. They're probably well trained at like the gun range, but to fire a gun under duress is another thing. They probably
don't have a SWAT team, I guess, either.
Well, I don't think they thought it was a SWAT, type of event.
Maybe,
they
yeah.
just thought it was like an intruder. But obviously, like they need to like. I was saying this. It was like they need to shut down the school. It's just like only bad shit happens at the school. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So he stumbles to the roof for some reason. I don't know why. And then so Mickey Man gets up on a roof like I don't know, like a mile away. And then he like enhances his right hand, and then he just throws a rock, fucking like a fastball, and then just decimates.
First, his arm turns into like the claws of Satan.
Yeah,
the arm like now pitching Satan.
Yeah, and then he pretty much like who's that big dude from Arizona that like destroyed that pigeon?
Randy Johnson?
Yeah, he's just straight up just Randy Johnson's like that dude's chest.
Right in his heart, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, I can't reform my face into a human. What's going on? I see. Oh, boom! And then it just like has a huge
Just like blows a hole in his chest.
Fucking hole in his chest. I remember Austin while watching it goes, strike!
Do like the umpire things like
yeah. Okay, they got him, and then he basically dies. And then we get a whole big information dump. The scientist like surmises that we can detect them now by pulling hair strands because the hair of a regular human will just come off, but a parasite, if you pull their hair, it's a parasite, so like it'll like shrivel up and die. So and it'll wriggle around and shrivel up and die. So that becomes like a customary greeting in Japan is for you to like pull each other's hair now, which is fucking weird. But
yeah, it's a clever method. It's a clever idea, though. I like that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they're back together.
Oh yeah, he's back from Murano.
Oh yeah. First, it's like after some time, the school reopened, and Nathan, you just said,
God.
"What?"
The more we recap this, the more I'm just like, man, everybody in the show is so fucking stupid.
Everyone's so stupid.
Yeah, everything they done and everything they do is just so stupid. Like, everything.
There are no intelligent... The only person who's been consistently intelligent this whole entire time is Tamaya. Tamaya, Miggy, and the other Uda's Parasyte. Uda's Parasyte's pretty smart. The jaw Parasyte.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, jaw Parasyte. It's been pretty smart. Pretty much everyone else is pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, Izumi's pretty stupid too.
Yeah, he's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Like, he had such a cool walk out time. Like, he walked out of the class, he was like, "Where are you going?" He just shuts the door. And, like, he knows it's on the 3rd floor. He sensed it already, he's on the 3rd floor. And his ass, like, takes his time to walk up to the 3rd floor. It's like, dude, fucking run. You can run faster than Olympic sprinters. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a lot of poor decisions were made.
He started to become like a Shinji in what is that?
Evangelion?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Shinji in Evangelion was like the biggest pussy of all time. He was like
And an idiot.
super wishy-washy and a dummy.
And whiny.
True, you're right.
He's not that whiny.
Izumi's not whiny, and he's pretty like proactive about stuff. He just kind of dragged his feet in this episode.
he just makes some poor decisions, but it's like...
Yeah, he made some poor tactical decisions, but, I mean, he wasn't to blame. It was stupid glasses girl. Like...
Yeah, it all goes back to
It all goes like, all this could have been avoided. You just told your fucking brother that there's an alien that had the possibility of killing people. Like, in what scenario where you're like, hey, let me isolate myself with a goddamn murderous alien that can shift form and stuff, and let me just like I'm gonna talk him down. Let's talk this out.
And then throw paint thinner at him.
Like that's a great decision apparently. But yeah. So I don't know. I kind of liked this show when he wasn't as badass. Like when he was just. But I guess
the comedy is gone. You notice that? There's no comedy anymore in this show.
It's been a pretty dark 3 episodes. Yeah.
Like there's no balance anymore. The early episodes was kind of balanced. It's like shit's happening, people dying, and then like dick jokes.
Yeah. Miss the dick jokes, I guess. But ever since he's become kind of like cold-hearted and like cold Miggy man, that it's all that humor's definitely just been gone, and it's just been like serious stuff, which kind of loses the charm of the show. Like, I guess it's interesting. It's been an interesting series. I'm still interested in the series, but these past 3 episodes, I've kind of like lost some interest. Like, I can see where they're trying to go. They're trying to develop him so that he's gonna become more and more unemotional. But by doing that, he becomes
man ever.
But he becomes less and less relatable the more unhuman he gets.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, which is interesting. I think it's gonna start. It has to start flowing the other way back, because it's just like I think Miggy's gonna have to at one point start getting some like empathy, or empathy towards others, like at some point. Otherwise, to find the balance. Otherwise, he's just gonna be going like, I'm a robot.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get Inaho from Aldino Zero again, just like I'm gonna outthink everybody because I am awesome and I'm a high schooler that can outthink a fucking general and his army in a split second.
Although he did, Miggy was reading Crime and Punishment at the end there, so I don't know if that's gonna have an effect or not.
No, what's Crime? I've never read Crime and Punishment. Like, what does that indicate?
It's just like the basic ethics and the foundations of the criminal justice system, and appropriate levels of punishment.
What I'm excited to see is I'm hoping that like by next episode or something that the Japanese I guess scientists would figure out how the parasite died, because honestly like Austin said, you look at the body, there was a bunch of bullet holes everywhere, but, you know, there was a giant hole and a rock that was thrown at him, right? Like, if they do some good investigation, they should figure out that the cops didn't kill the parasite and that it was some other force. And I want to know if, like, that's going to be a big role or not in, like, the development of the anime.
Apparently not, because they fucking reopened that school. Like,
very true.
Soon after the school reopened. I was like, soon after? Are you fucking kidding me?
I think he said after some time.
After some time. Like,
but still.
It made it seem like, or it was like 1 week later. It was like, the blood was really hard to get out.
For, like, horror movies, like a Goosebumps type school.
Who the fuck would put their kid? Like, you're the worst parent of the year if you're like, all right, son, go back. Go back to that school. He was like, Dad, my best friend died there. Got sliced in half by some psycho. We don't even know what happened. I was like, stop being a fucking pussy, Steve.
Go to school and
go to school and get good grades.
It happened twice. It will not happen a third time.
Third time's the charm. Now get in there. You didn't get fucking sliced in half. You got your whole lower body. You walked your ass to school, little Steve. Stop bitching. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. Like, this happened twice now. And then they're just like, well, I guess we'll have to reopen school again. And it was like, at least put a fucking, like, security guard there? Or, like, you think the government would kind of be onto it because the first one was kind of suspicious. You know, and then the second one was definitely an alien. So it's just like, oh, you know, like, and then as Tommy said, like, oh, he had his fucking chest caved in by a fucking rock. Like, you think they would post someone up there. So I'm betting, I think Tommy's along the same lines, or at least they should, like, post some type of, like, secret agent or type of, like, surveillance.
The Men in Black.
Yeah. And also, we still have Tamaya on the loose, which I think is going to be a bigger player overall. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when she gives birth to her child.
When she becomes a baby mama.
Yeah. Let's see.
Baby zombie parasites. I don't know.
I think it's just going to be like a normal child. Like
it will, but maybe I was thinking that she infests it once a baby.
Well, she can't. Oh, I guess she could. Like, she just recruits another person to infest it.
I just think that'd be funny. It'd be like Dead Space.
No, she wouldn't infest it, like, that young, because then that baby would just always be, like, a baby. Like, do their bodies age? I guess their bodies still do age, right?
Yeah, because the body works the same anyways. It did say you could live longer, but, like, remember that one said it could live, like, 140 years?
Yeah, so it's, like, enhanced immune systems and, you know, organs, probably. So, yeah. Okay, so on that note, I guess we'll pretty much wrap this one up. A string of, you know, it's too serious, a string of lackluster and just stupid, frustrating decisions on character parts have made a very promising beginning to the series kind of come to just a meh ending. Hopefully they can pick it up with the last few episodes. Alright, there you guys.